Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Today we're going to talk mostly about Survivor, but a little bit about the challenge. There's someone right there. Anyway, so let's get right on into it because I'm short on time. You guys know I am a busy lady. Really quick, well, I'm not like literally like a busy lady, but we're going out for brunch. So yeah. Anyways, really quick, don't forget to follow me on the TVCO app. I go live Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, although I have recently added Tuesdays and Fridays up in there because we are currently watching 90 Day Fiancé together. I have never seen the series, so we're starting from the beginning. Right now we are on season 2 and it's really interesting so far. So if you want to follow along with us and watch with us and chat, make sure to follow me at Honestly Honecker on TVCO. Okay, and also you know, of course, Twitter and Instagram. Moving on. So Survivor's episode was pretty interesting. A lot of people are not enjoying the season anymore. They think I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, I'm sick of being taught life lessons. Oh, I just want to watch Survivor. Like, then just watch. You know, like, it's really not that deep. Anyways, I'm not going to go, like, deep into the episode because there's definitely a lot of channels who already do that, like Nerdtainment, and I know Jolene does some stuff for Survivor, but just the gist of the situation. The episode started with Karishma getting a rat on her face, which is one of the reasons why you will never see me on Survivor. There are way too many critters, way too many insects that are too close for comfort. Did you guys see that clip of the giant spider? Case in point. That's all I needed to see for me to be okay with never being on Survivor. She had a giant rat on her face, and then they had like an end of the world storm. It was awful. Everyone was pissed off because the next day Karishma wasn't doing shit, and it's like, I can't really not relate. You know, I'd be cold and tired. People deal with it differently. Karishma just wanted to relax and zen herself out. They ended up sending her to go get coconuts, and homegirl, she founded a damn idol. So she went and did that, which I'm happy for her. I actually really enjoy Karishma. I think that she's funny, but it's interesting how she's still there. Like, a lot of people don't really see her as a big threat, but she's going to end up making it top 3. I have no doubt about that. Like, I'll be surprised if she does not make it to top 3. Moving on, I just saw that my battery is at 2, so that's exciting for us. What else happened? They had their immunity challenge, and they had to split into 2 teams. One team was Dan, Janet, Lauren, Aaron, and Nora. The other team was Missy, Elizabeth, Karishma, Elaine, and Tommy. And each team, one person would win immunity, and then the person who lasted the longest out of both teams won their team PB&J. Nora ended up winning for her team, winning immunity. She got a little excited, jumped off, and didn't win them PB&J. They were pissed. Real quick, the challenge was like you had to do this circle thingy and keep the ball in and while balancing. It was wild, but it actually looked like one of the only challenges that I could ever do, so. And then on the other team, Elaine ended up winning immunity and PB&J, which was great for them. But, and this is what both teams realized, this is a perfect opportunity because Aaron, he won 2 idols, what was it, 2 episodes ago or last episode? I don't remember. He won 2 immunity idols himself. And so they were like, this is a great opportunity to get rid of him. He's so strong. And then the other team was like, oh, Missy, she didn't get an idol. She's a really strong player too. I mean, there was obviously more detail to it, but that was the gist. There was other people that were talked about to be voted off, such as Tommy, and then Janet was also thrown up in there. Karishma and Missy ended up getting in a little tiff, a little argument, because Karishma did not appreciate the way that Missy came at her. The vote for Missy's team came down to Karishma. So Tommy and who was the other? Tommy and Elaine needed Karishma. Missy and Elizabeth needed Karishma. So both needed her. And that's just the position you want to be in, you know? Tommy and Elaine wanted to get rid of Missy. Missy and Elizabeth wanted to get rid of Tommy, and it was kind of a battle of the what should Karishma do. And Karishma was like, I love being in this position because it's all down to me, and I was happy for her. And then on the other team, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they were wanting to go after Janet because, wait, was it Janet? You know what? I can't fully remember. So if you know, let me know in the comment section, because I can't 100% remember if it was Janet that they were really going after. I feel like it was, but I just had a huge brain fart, so that's great. I know I wrote notes, and you guys know I don't write notes, but I'm pretty sure it was Janet. Either which way, they come down to Tribal, and the first team, Nora's team, they had to go first. And it ended up being Aaron going home, or going to jury, which was great because he talked a lot of shit the previous episode about how, oh, if it was such a big deal, the whole Kelly and Dan thing, if it was such a big deal, then I would have known about it. And I'm like, boy, shut the hell up. Like, you're so out of touch. And so I was happy that he went. And then Missy's team came on in. They got to see Aaron had gotten voted out, and Elizabeth was all emotional over it. I was like, girl, calm down. Obviously he would go. He is a big threat. Like, he's a huge physical threat. He can win immunity idols like it's his job. Like, come on. Obviously this would be the time for him to go. So she was having an emotional meltdown over it. She's like, oh, he's my #1 guy. Like, whatever. And then Missy and Karishma kind of had a little battle it out session, which was interesting, and I was team Karishma 100%. Missy and Elizabeth will never look the same to me. Similar to Aaron and Dan, obviously. Like, they will never be the same. Like, I will never be able to look at them and root for them, you know? Which is a real shame because I was really enjoying how Missy was playing. And I was really impressed with how Aaron was, like, a physical competitor. I didn't really care about Dan. He was whatever. Elizabeth had already bugged me, so there's no loss there. But for Missy and Aaron, I was a little disappointed. Actually, Aaron kind of bugged me too, I'm not gonna lie. So it was kind of only Missy that I was like, damn, like, you really made me change my views on you, but I just can't support someone who would do that. So, who would do what she did. So there's that. So I was definitely team Karishma when it came down to her versus Missy. And then at one point, right before they started voting, Missy brought up to Jeff, she's like, Jeff, look, I'm a little annoyed because you didn't bring up the fact that 2 people of color had immunity idols last week or last Tribal, and I think representation is really important, and that was a first in Survivor, and I just think that you should have mentioned it. And Jeff was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, what did he say? He's like, I'm sorry, I just didn't think that it was something to point out, like, you know, I think he was going along the lines of, like, it didn't really matter because of, like, he didn't take the whole race part of it into consideration. And I actually agree with Missy in the fact that representation is incredibly important. And if it's a first, call that shit out. Like, if it's definitely a first, and I'm not sure, because I only started watching Survivor in the, I don't remember which season in the 20s, but it was in the 20s. I've seen a good portion of the previous before the 20s, but that was generally when I started watching. So I don't know the history of Survivor. So I don't know if it was really a first. But if she's saying it is, if it is, then yeah, I think it should have been brought up like, wow, this is a first for us. Congratulations. You guys are making Survivor history. You got this. A lot of people online, Facebook mostly, because that's where the dredge of any fandom congregate. They're all up in a tiffy because they're like, why is it always a social lesson in every episode? And I'm like, girl, shut up. It's really only this season, and if you don't like it, then watch, you know, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of hypocritical for me to say that because I definitely complain about Big Brother, but I don't care if there's lessons. There's a good amount of Survivor being played. So what's 2 minutes of an episode? I don't understand what the problem is. Like, I don't get threatened by issues being brought up. You know, especially when they are important issues. And obviously a lot of these people aren't educated on the issues, so they need to be talked about for them to open their mind. But a lot of these people who are judging it are so close-minded that it'll never make a difference towards them. So there's that. It's kind of like a dead horse, you know, you're beating the dead horse kind of thing, in regards to trying to open other people's minds when they're refusing. They're absolutely refusing to see the bigger picture, and it's a little frustrating. But Missy ended up getting voted out, and she was pretty surprised. She definitely was a little bit more cocky in the situation. She thought that she had it, and she was for sure shocked. She kind of called Elaine out, like, once she realized that it was her, and she told Elizabeth that she needs to get Elaine out however she can and all of this shit. And she was, whoo, she definitely didn't take it. I mean, she took it okay, but she was visibly upset. And that is how the episode ended. Moving on to Survivor. Well, real quick, to Survivor, I just talked about Survivor. Anyways, I was a little upset that Dan didn't go. I really hoped that he would go, and I did find it a little weird that the episode kind of just went on like we didn't just have a really deep episode about something very serious. So that was a strange vibe to me. I definitely had thought that it would have been mentioned a little bit more. I felt that Janet, her situation should have been addressed a little bit more in the very beginning, and it might have, and I might have forgotten. I only watched the episode once this week. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to watch it again, but if my memory is correct, it kind of just, like, it didn't happen. You know, that happened in the episode, and then it wasn't talked about again, not even a little bit in this episode, and so that was a little strange to me, but whatever. So hopefully Dan will go next week. Or Elizabeth, because Elizabeth bugs the hell out of me. Moving on to the challenge. I'm not going to go deep into the challenge because I didn't do one last week, so I'd have to talk about last week's episode and whatever. But let me just say this. I think Dee is a whole clown. Like, she literally looks so stupid. Last week, Rogan was trying to get her out because he felt that she couldn't run a final, and she found out about it. They ended up throwing the challenge because they wanted her in the proving grounds, whatever. And then this week, she acts all big and bad and upset about it. Oh, you're gonna see I can do it. You're gonna see I can. And I'm like, okay, so you're pissed. So you're not gonna support Rogan anymore. Good, let's do this. And then what does that girl do? What does she go and do? She goes and sides with mother effing Rogan and basically forgives him, has a whole talk with him about how he hurt her feelings and she was really upset, and then he goes and blames it on Joss, and it was just a whole mess. And I'm like, Dee, you look stupid. You look like a moron. Why are you letting him make you look like this? Like, But I was excited to see Joss go because he bugged the hell out of me too. And I thought it was the perfect karma for Joss because homeboy sided with Kaylee to get Georgia out. And it ended up being because of Kaylee that he goes home. Like, it was beautiful. And it was such a karma moment. It was like the spirit of Georgia kicked them in the ass and it got rid of them. 2-in-1 deal. It was beautiful. But they had that swimming competition, and that's when, you know, they had their competition and it was a purge thing. So the slowest team, the slowest pair, because it was, you know, okay, so it was pairs all over the place, 4 pairs for each team, the UK and the US. They had to swim like a shitload of miles I don't know if it was miles, but a long ass distance to go get some keys, bring the keys back, and then solve a riddle puzzle thing. And whoever was the slowest out of both teams to swim and to come back got sent home. And it ended up being Joss and Kaylee being sent home, which was hilarious to me. Polly and Cara Maria had a whole argument because Cara Maria was doing the most while doing the least of her swimming. It was really embarrassing. Totally not like Cara Maria. Well, I guess it kind of is, but isn't. Like, I just expected a lot more from her, and I was a little embarrassed for her. But Cam and Leroy, they were the second to last, or the second to slowest, and Leroy's emotion when he found out that he was staying was just so touching, and I just love Leroy. So Dee actually wasn't the slowest swimmer, so she definitely that to them, which was great, and she definitely proved herself, especially considering it ended up being Joss, Rogan's best friend, who went home because he was a part of the slowest team. That is hilarious to me. But Dee ended up going and siding with Rogan when it came to tribunal and vote and who to vote in, because of course Team UK lost the challenge, or lost the competition, and they ended up sending Jordan into the proving ground. Shocking. The tribunal, or whatever they're called, I forgot, they ended up sending Josh in, which I thought was so stupid. But of course they're doing Polly's work, which isn't shocking. Polly and Cara Maria basically run this season, and it's kind of embarrassing because they're two, like, totally, I don't even know the right word, but they're kind of crazy themselves, and they're kind of, it's like the crazy leading the dumb. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so Polly told Ninja to get rid of Josh because they need to start weeding out their alliance a little bit, you know, shaving it down. And they chose Josh, who is one of the best swimmers, who is actually a pretty good competitor this season. So I was a little surprised that he chose Josh, but whatever. So it ended up being Josh and Jordan going against each other in a rope, pulling each other off a little balance box competition. And obviously Jordan had the disadvantage because he only has one hand. So you would think that Josh would win this, but Jordan came through with the strategy and the smart way of going about it, and ended up winning the proving ground and staying, and Josh ended up going, which I was a little sad about, but not really. I'm not the biggest Josh fan. It's basically because of Big Brother. He's one of the people that I can never look at the same again because he's just annoying. But I was actually enjoying him for the most part this season. There were some times where I was like, ugh, Josh. But for the most part, I liked him this season. And so I was a little sad to see him go, considering I would have preferred people like Polly to go, Rogan to go. Homeboy hasn't even gone down into a proving ground yet to prove himself, and yet he's the one talking about he can run a final. Like, you were scared to even go into the proving ground against, who was it, Theo? It's like, dude, Rogan, you're such a bitch. I can't stand the guy. He's irritating to me. He's like, if he makes it to the final, I'm gonna be so pissed. But anyways, that was the gist of the challenge. Jordan ended up staying. Jordan and Tori are definitely proving themselves this season. They, not like they have to, but they are. And I don't like Jordan, but I can't not give it to him. He is pretty badass with the competitions. And although I don't like him, I have to give credit where it's due. Tori is coming through also, and she is proving that she is a badass bitch, even though I think she's kind of a clown as well. And it's safe to say that the only people that I really like this season are Nany and Leroy. Definitely Nany and Leroy. Those are the only two. Oh no, I like Ashley, but I'm iffy about Ashley this season. I normally love her, but she's kind of pissing me off also, being so far up Polly's ass and Cara Maria's ass. And Ninja can go away too. She's so irritating. She's constantly jumping everywhere. It's like, calm down, relax. And she ended up not even participating in this competition this episode. And it's like, why are you the head speaker for the team? I don't understand it. Like, Like, you of all people, you didn't even do anything for this challenge. Like, I don't, she bugs the hell out of me. Anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about Survivor and the challenge. I'm sorry, I'm like rushing through everything. I know they're about to want to leave, so I wanted to get this video out before, because I'm sure Amelia is going to want to take a nap later. It's just, time is never with me, considering I have a toddler running around everywhere, and it's like I can't even get 20 minutes to myself to do this most of the time. So I have to rush through it, and I feel so bad. But I'm trying. It is what it is. I definitely think that if you want more detailed thoughts about episodes, to follow me on TVCO, because I'm able to really watch the episodes with you guys and talk about it play by play, scene by scene with you guys, and it's always super fun. So make sure you're following me there. And I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It actually helps me out a lot, and I really, really appreciate it. You really help support me and my family, and I would love it if you would hang out with us and join the fam. All right, I love you guys so much.